This is my Power BI Cloud service. Now it is time for us to explore the navigation part of the cloud service. app.powerbi.com. When you type this, you need to specify your username and password. You need to sign into this one. Okay. So far we created reports in Power BI desktop. Now let us explore the Power BI cloud service. Okay. So in this case, right, to access this Power BI cloud service, you need to register it in their website, app.powerbi.com. For this, you need to have the official email ID. Okay, you can use your office ID to create it. Okay, to sign up with this one. Once you are done with this, you're all set. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is once you sign up here, right? So you'll be seeing something like this license step. In your case, it is something like 60 days free license. This is every month I'm paying $10. Okay, and for me every month it is getting renewed. And for me it is a pro license. For you it is a premium per user license. Okay, 60 days it will be valid. You can if you sign up now, you can access it for the next 60 days. Post that, if you want to use it, you need to pay it, okay, $10 per month. So now what we will do is we'll explore the interface, the cloud interface. So you can see the three lines here, right? So this one is very much helpful, okay? So this is helpful in terms of showing and hiding this navigation pane. If I click on this, look here, it is getting disappeared, right? It gives more room for this thing. When I click on it one more time, it shows everything here, the menu thing, everything right here. So when you click on the create here, okay, yeah, just before that, here, okay, the whole, I just, I think they made some changes here also, a little bit, different to the layout now. Okay, I just select this one here, the simplified and expanded. The new report, you can see the expanded one. Okay, here, when I click on create, supposing you want to create, you want to manually enter the data and use the auto create report feature to generate the reports, right? You can use this one. Paste or manually enter the data. So I just click on it here. I just type something here. Okay, the column 1 as employee ID and e-name and his salary, or listen, basic and HR and his commission, bonus. And then here, if I come down here, employee ID is E101. Here, Rajesh. His basic salary is like, HRE is something like 25,000, and commission is something like 8,000, and bonus is performance bonus 12,000. And then what I do is I don't need this column here. Just right click on it and then delete it here. Okay, and here, like your Excel sheet, okay, in E102, sorry, E102. And here what I do is here I say Nilesh. Some value, okay, I just for the sake of this. So now you have the option here, name of this table. So here I say the employee salary or something, emp cell, the table name. Okay, and auto create report. When you click on this, let's see what happens. So in this case, you don't have to manually drag and drop the visuals to create the reports. Look here, right? So you don't have to manually drag and drop the visuals or create reports manually. Based on the data that you keyed in, it generated the report automatically. It's awesome, right? So what are the visual that you wanted, you can keep it here. And if you don't want it, you can remove it. Okay. And if you select here, this is the visual. Look here. See, some of basic and some of HRA and some of commissions, kind of metric and KPIs. And look here, it gives us sum of basic is 102 was greater than this guy. This guy's salary or basic is more than this guy. And it gives us the insight, key insights. Look here, the typed one, the summary of the gist of this report, it gives here the gist of this report. The basic drawn by this guy is higher than this guy, and then accounted for 53% of basic. This guy is 53% of his basic, and E101 had 48,000 sum of basic, and E10 had. It gives you all these things automatically here. Okay, and if you click on the show data table, it display the table data also along with this one. You can see it here, right? And then you can save it and you can export. When you click on, you can export to Excel and you can export it to this one. I did not embed live data. Okay. And let me just click on it. Open in Power BI data. So sorry, the PowerPoint data. So usually we don't use it, but supposing you want to do some kind of generate, you want to gain some quick insight, you have less volume of the data, only one table, only one file is available. But if you have more than one file, you need to create relationship, everything. Okay, this is the one. Okay. And if you see here more options, you have export data, same as your thing. Okay, the Power BI desktop visuals, whatever the options that you get, the same thing you get it there also. So that is the advantage of using this one. When you click on file, you can save as a copy, enter the name of your employee, salary, something like that, employee, payroll, something that you just save it. My workspace. Okay, when you click on create, you will have something. Pick a published data set. So this is the one I published it. You remember just a while back, I published this report with this name. Along with the report, the data also got published. If I select this one, what will happen? The data is available, right? So look here in that file, we have 4 data files are available. Look here on the right side. Can you see it here? Automatically, I just clicked on it automatically. It shows all the tables that I used it in that data set. And then you can drag and drop. Here also you can create the visuals. Instead of creating the visuals in a Power BI desktop, you can create the visuals here itself. See, all the things are seen here. What you cannot do here, you cannot do data model design. That is one downside. Maybe in the future, they may introduce the model view also here. But as of now, you don't have that available here. You cannot do the data modeling here. The simple report, you can enhance the existing report. You can key in, new report. If you have only, this kind of thing. Okay, here, in this case, 1 second. Thing is, you cannot create a fresh data model. But in our case, we have already created the data model and then we publish it here, right? So for example, if I click on this one, and why always stability is boring, let us use some map. Bing, I just click on the map. I don't know whether map will work on this one. Let me check here. I just drop the country here. Map and field map is or enabled with your, for your organization. This has to be enabled. Okay. So for that, you need to go to the Power BI desktop. That is where, there is some option is there. That is where you can do it. Let me do one thing. I just give it, sorry, not this one, this one. Okay, we don't have Azure map. Okay, what I will do is better. Let me use this one, the table itself for the time being. Then I just put the thing here. Profit is doing the filtering all the based on the relationship which I defined it in my Power BI desktop. Still, it is considering the same thing here. Okay, you don't have to explicitly specify the model again. Okay, so all these options are available. These are not so difficult. You can just go and click and explore it. If you want to have the mobile layout, you can click on the mobile layout. You can create a mobile layout. Okay, so you can drag and drop the visuals here. What are the visuals that you created it? Okay, and then what you do is you can publish it so that mobile. You remember, let's say we develop a website. Look here, this is my website. But when you look at it in the desktop, it looks good. But when the user log into my website from their mobile phone, the mobile view should also be good. It should not be cluttered, right? For that purpose, they've given here. Okay, you can define the mobile layout here. I'm not going to save it. And the next one is the browse button gives you all the thing. Okay, what is the recent one, the sales dashboard and the favorites. Okay, and whatever the reports that you have selected. Look here. So along with this, if I click on favorite, right, this one will be recent. This is a recent one. The recent one, I just click on my favorite report, so that whenever I want to see my favorite report, you just click on this here. It will show only the reports that you selected as favorite. Next to the report, you can see this icon, right? The star kind of icon. This is your favorite. That's all. And shared with me, what are the reports that I shared with me by other users? That is what you can see it here. See, the only challenge here is deepneuron.in. You can create as many users as possible. You can create more than one email ID in this domain. And those users created under this domain only can the share the reports. That is one drawback I have noticed. Okay, I don't know in the latest version. I will probably check and come back to you. The thing is, if you, let's say you work with Infosys. Okay, if I want to share this report to your Infosys email ID, it will not work. Okay, within the organization, if you want to share, maybe security reasons or the things that they kept it like this. The next one is the data hub. And this is where you can see all the data files that you have created here. Look here, this is the one I created just a while back, right? And this is the one got published automatically. And my data, you can see it endorsed in your organization. Okay, this is the one I use it promoted. Okay, this is incremental refresh. I just promoted it. So that means, right, this report can be shared with any users. Okay, and the name of your data set and type is data set. And here in endorsement, right? So whether you endorse the data file to the public or something like that, okay, or the other users. And owner, who is the owner, and what is the workspace name, which workspace this data set is available. And when this data set got refreshed, I'll explain what is refreshed little later. The next one is metrics. In this case, you can see that the sample files. This is your scorecard. Look here, what exactly the scorecard is all about. You just click on define a metric. You can define a metric here and then you can use it. Okay, in this case, let me do one thing. Any sample thing is available. Yeah, look here. This is the education sample, our sales sample scorecard to track sales metrics. It's already created by someone else. Look here. Achieve a monthly revenue of 500,000 and one is on track. So whether are we on track in terms of achieving this revenue and what is the value? Okay, and up 4% month on month, we can see an increase in the sales value, and we can see the progress on the due dates on the news. So up arrows kind of down arrow kind of thing. Okay, with this you should be able to understand. There is a steep decline here. We can reduce overall wait time for call. This is good, right? There is a decrease in wait time for calls in the call center. It is really good. So this is your scorecard, and look here, and the different colors gives different thing. Overdue, behind, at risk, on task for this, right? You can give overdue, right? Something wrong here, that it is not good. So this is your scorecard, a sample scorecard. You can see it here. And if you want to create a new scorecard, you can click on it and you can define all the metrics, whatever you wanted. Anyhow, scorecard, we'll see it later. And the next one is the apps. Okay. What is this apps? The apps are very much helpful, okay, to share your report with the users, other users. Okay, for that purpose, this is very much helpful, the apps. Okay, here, look here. So template apps, and you can get the apps also from the outside. Look here, GitHub. GitHub is a version control. Do you remember, how many of you remember that I used to share with you guys the data files in the past in this GitHub link, right? My GitHub link. You want to use my download all my data set, I used to share this one. So what I did here, I just click on the Git apps, and then here you can see whatever the apps, the external apps you want to bring in here, that is also possible. These are the things are already available. So Dynamics is also available, 365 Microsoft. And let's see if you want to have the GitHub here, GitHub app, right? The external app, Microsoft. So Microsoft, they bought the GitHub few years back. Like Elon Musk bought Twitter, right? So get it now. When you click on the get it now, okay, fine. So you signed in as Sask and Rams. So you can specify the username and password to your GitHub thing, and then it'll be made available as part of your Power BI itself, these apps. So here my username, any changes, right? You update your space on the app. I don't want to update it. Already I imported it. I loaded it here. Okay, if you want to get the apps, you can use it. Apps are collection of dashboards and reports in one easy to find place. Okay, and the next one is deployment pipeline. This is very important. Okay, so what is the deployment pipeline? Any idea? Anybody has the deployment pipeline is nothing but, right? We are empowering the users by giving more control over the management of their content. You develop the report. You are empowering your organization, employees, or the specific set of groups to have a control over on this one. Okay. See, usually what we do is the first stage is your deployment pipeline. And then the first phase of your deployment pipeline is your development stage. See, first what we do is we develop the report, and then dashboard report we created, and then we publish it, and then we test it. Okay, in case of any bug, we fix it. Once you fix it, and you need to freeze it. Okay, so now we develop the report and dashboard, and then we tested it. We did the unit testing. The unit testing has to be done by the developer itself. Supposing you are the author, you developed a report, you are the author for that. Okay, and then you are supposed to test your report. If you find any bug, you fix it. On top, the QA team, what they do is quality assurance. What they do is, it is their responsibility. Test, look here, automatically it creates the development, test, and production support. So next one is once you say, yes, my code is ready for testing. See, you did the unit testing, everything. On top, there is a separate testing team will be there. So what they do is, they will, when you see here, I don't have the premium license. I just have the pro license. With the pro license, we cannot do the deployment. With the premium license only, we can do it. But premium license is a little costlier. Okay. So in that case, what happens? You will have a button here. When you click on this, all the entire content, the report, data set, or if you have any other files, everything will get shipped automatically to your, or copied to your test folder. And once they did everything, when they click on this button, promote to production, it will get copied here. So in the case of Workspace, this is where we collaborate with other testers and reviewers. Okay, it is also a chance to put a vast amounts of data to the test. In the case of test data, we put huge amount of data and we test it to, okay, functionality is same. The calculations are, what are the formulas, what are the business logic which we have used, everything is fine. But when it comes to huge volume of data, or the reports, visuals are getting populated or getting refreshed fast, reasonably. Okay. So in the development stage, we work with the tiny data. Okay. We don't use the huge volume of data. Okay. So what we will do is we add more data to the app and put it through, its phases. Okay. So what we do is in the test, in the case of testing, the testing is a different types of testing. You user acceptance test everything. They do it everything. Okay. Simple thing is, we as a developer, you work on this. The testing team, they will take your code and then they will review like anything. Okay. They find everything, lot of mistakes in your code. Okay. That is what their responsibility. And then you will, that's why the testing team and development team, all these, they pick up some kind of problem. It's just for a joke. Okay. But it is their responsibility to capture as many bugs as possible. It is your responsibility as an author. You are supposed to fix them, and once everything is fixed, then it will get deployed to your production. So once the code is deployed to production, it will not undergo any changes to the code. Okay. In case any changes, any modification in future needs to be done to your existing dashboard report, you need to bring that production data report back to your development. You need to do some customization or enhance the report by adding additional columns, additional tables, and then you test it, and again you push it to the test folder, and then this is the cycle. Okay. This is what your deployment pipeline is all about at the high level. And then the next one is when it comes to the, okay, we have something to learn. When you click on this one, so you have documentation, and then you have some Power BI communities. So the better you go and sign up here, and then you can see sample reports developed by someone. Okay, you can see the reports. So what style they used it, what color palette they used it, everything can go and check it here. Okay, what font style, everything, right? You can, how they design it, by just by viewing these sample reports, you will get an idea. Okay, and the next one is the workspaces. This is very important thing. So what is a workspace? Workspaces are like containers. Okay, the workspaces are like your containers. Okay, it is kind of a shared environment for a group of people. Shared environment for a group of people. What do you mean by shared environment for a group? We create workspace first, and then we will create dashboards, reports, and scorecards. It's something like you create a folder. In that folder, you use that folder, or you house the reports, dashboards, and scorecards, or the data set, whatever you use it in that folder. Okay. So one workspace can have hundreds of dashboards, hundreds of reports, and hundreds of data sets in it. There are two types of workspaces. As you can see, the one is the My Workspace, other one is the plain workspaces. In both the workspaces, you can have dashboards and reports and workbooks as well as your data sets. You can keep it here. The workbooks, what do you mean workbook? Workbooks are nothing but your Excel sheet. Okay. And dashboard is nothing but a summary of your report. Okay, so that you can also customize it to get an overview of one or even a couple of reports. Supposing you have HR department related report, and HR department, they have a report, right? Each department, they need their own report. Okay, the HR guys need the separate report, and finance manager, they need a separate report, and sales team, they need a separate report. You have three, for example, in this case, we have three reports: sales report, finance report, HR, payroll, payment related report. Okay, reports are there. So in this case, what happened? We need to create a dashboard. The management, senior management, top level people, they want to see the metrics from all these three departments. Okay, so for example, in the case of HR, they want to see the churn rate. How many number of, what is the churn rate? What is the percentage of employees that they left our company? That visual they pick up, and we put it in the dashboard. And then in addition to that, they wanted to see what is the revenue, net revenue? That net revenue related metrics that is available in my sales report, you go and take it and then put it in a dashboard. Also, they want to see the operating margin that you go and pick up from your finance report. So your dashboard, for your dashboard, the source is, in this case, 3 reports, right? Because they want to see the high level information, okay, from all the departments. They want to get a holistic view. As a finance manager, you are very particular about your operating margin, cash on hand, expenses, cash balances, right? You are, very particular. Reserve, how much reserve we have in our account. That's it. But as a CEO, you are not supposed to look at only one department, right? You need to look at holistically everything. So in that case, all the reports, you go and pick up the metrics or the visuals that are, required as part of your dashboard. So in this case, okay, first of all, before we proceed further, I just explain you how to create a workspace. For example, you need to click on the workspace here. Okay, now the question is, before I proceed further, this is a basic thing. So I told you there are 2 types of workspace. One is this one and the other one is my workspace. What is the difference between these two? This is like, your own copy. Whatever the dashboard report files that you keep it here in this folder, that is not shareable to anyone. But whatever the files, reports that you develop it, that is shareable, right? When once you post, keep it here. Okay. If you want to share your reports and data set to the outside world, then you can put it in the workspace, not in the my workspace. Got it? So this one, the workspaces are like containers. Okay. So the workspace, you publish it like an app. There are different ways of you can share your content, the report or dashboard. You want to share only one report, then individual report you can share it with individual user. But let's say you want to share 200 reports with 800 users, then it is difficult to share one by one, right? Put everything in a single workspace, and then let's say you want to you develop 200 reports. Those 200 reports you want to share it with 800 users. Put it in a single workspace. You can share it. Not one by one. You can share it upfront to everyone. The bulk sharing, I'm talking about the bulk sharing, is possible with the workspace. Okay. For that purpose only we are going to use. This is a local workspace. We cannot share. We cannot, public cannot use this one. Okay, correct. So fine. So the next one is, now you understood, you got some amount of idea about this one. Okay. The next one is, what I am going to do is, yeah, I covered most of the things here. The next one is the subscription. We have something called subscription. You can set up email subscription. Okay. For example, you developed a report. Oh, sorry. I'll create the workspace here. I just click on, look here. Here, you just click on this one, create a workspace. When you click on this one, it will ask you the workspace name. Give whatever name you wanted. For example, development sandbox 3. It's a development folder. Okay. And let's say development 5, 6, 56. Okay. And then give some meaningful name. Okay. So for this, or let's say, dev supply chain analytics. Supply chain analytics related reports, we are going to have it here. Supply chain analytics. There is a separate project by the name of supply chain analytics. So we use the workspaces for, for different projects. We give the project name for the workspaces. So in this workspace, you keep all the reports and data sets and the dashboards that are relevant to supply chain analytics. You keep it here, and then I just save it here. Now my workspace is ready. So look here, my workspace name is supply chain analytics. So the next step is, yes, you can go to your Power BI desktop. let's say you developed your supply chain related report. Go to home ribbon, click on publish. When you click on publish, it will ask you in which workspace you want to publish it. Let's assume that this is your supply chain analytics. And if you see here, if you scroll down here, and I don't see the latest one, right? Can you see this one, supply chain? Yeah, dev SCA. Look here, yes, it is there. And once you select it, and then wait for it. See, it will ask you the username and password. Once you specify it, it will not ask you every now and then. Okay. It is automatically get. So now it got it. So it got published. And look here, in the supply chain analytics, but this report got published here. Fine. Now I wanted to set up the email subscription. So what my manager wants is this report needs to be sent him on a daily basis by 10 a.m. or so. Every day by 10 a.m. he wants this report to be sent. What I do is I just click on this report. And then look here, you have something called subscribe. When I click on the subscribe, it will open up something like this, add new subscription. Look here, I mentioned about the username already, support at deepneuron.in, and then for example, Robert at deepneuron. These are my colleagues. Let's assume that way, okay? They are my colleagues. And what I do is I specify their email ID because these guys need this report. For example, 20 users in your company, they need the same report. You need to send this report to the 20 users. Here you can specify that. For example, sales by sales performance. Your subject. And then any optional message you can specify it. And then you can specify the report page also. Look here, in this case, we have 2 pages are there, right? I don't want the 2 pages to be, scheduled it there. And what I do is instead, okay, it has gone, right? Report page. So the specific RLS, only this page only, you can send it to him, to my manager on a daily basis. Okay, or else you can click on this one, month and day of week order. You can select that one also. And then what you do is, see, in my case, let's assume that I wanted to share this report with these users, okay? More than one users, okay? And then what I do is, next one is I schedule it. Look here, frequency. This is very important. In the interview, they ask you, how did you do scheduling? You can tell them, we have used a subscription, the Power BI Cloud service. So usually, in the real-time scenario, we have something called Power Automate. That is also Microsoft product, Power Apps. That is the one we'll be using to schedule the refresh everything. So for example, in this case, I just select weekly. You have hourly, daily. Hourly, there are some reports, they need it on hourly basis. So you just select hourly. Okay, you want which days? You can unselect. I don't need it on Saturday and Sunday. You can unselect it. Or if you want it on a daily basis, you don't have to select, right? Logically, you don't. If it is a daily means, it is quite obvious, apparent that every day. Hence, it gets disabled automatically. Good. And if it's a weekly basis, every week I want to send this report. Okay, every week, which days? You want to send it all the 7 days? No, not all 7 days. And let's say today is Friday, right? Okay, let it be there on Saturday. And I just deselect these thing, and Friday and Saturday only I want this report to be sent. What time? So now it is 10:15, 10:11, right? Okay, 10:15. And which time zone? Chennai, Kolkata. This is the one you need to select it correctly. And then start date, when you want to start it. So starting from today. So here, if you select this one, right? And end date, you can specify the end date or something like this, end date. Permission to access the report in Power BI, link to report in Power BI, preview image, everything by default you can select. Look here, emails will be sent weekly at 10:15 p.m. India, starting 11/17/2012 a.m. Okay, so every Friday and Saturday, or for example, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, this report needs to be sent by 10:15 p.m. That's it. Save and close. Automation. This is what automation. Subscription set. Okay, and you will receive an email based on the frequency you selected. And then 1 second, I just click on it one more time. I just select it here. I run now. Okay, so this one is on, and click on it one more time. When you click on this, we are sending this subscription to all subscribed users. You see, you have selected. In my case, support at deepneuron.in, Robert at deepneuron, all the users, it will be sent. You can go and check it. So I schedule it by 10:15, right? So it will trigger an email by 10:15. Where is my email ID? Our email ID, yes, GN something. I don't remember the email ID. This official Deep Neuron website email ID, I don't know. The link, okay. Probably I will show you tomorrow, the next session, okay. This report, what will happen is, by 10:15 p.m. tonight, this report will be sent automatically to my email ID. Whatever the email ID is, it will be sent automatically. This is what automation. If you want to, let's say, if you want to send 200 reports or 800 reports to different people, and this is, the automation is pretty much simple, right? You don't have to manually go and click on a daily basis to send each and every report. The first time, yes, obviously you need to configure it. Once you configure it, that headache, your headache is gone, right? Once you configure it, your headache is gone. All the reports will, whatever the configuration you did it, whatever the username that you specified as an email, right? So this report will be triggered, or it will be sent automatically on a, let's say, daily basis. Every day by 10:15 a.m., 800 reports. If you want to send it, it will send it. So this is what they needed. They don't want to do any manual job, manual entry. Every day we don't want to do the boring manual job. Take 100 each and every report. You have 100 reports. Every report you need to send it to them. It's a painful job. We don't want that. You can use this one. So there are companies that still use the subscription option. In the interview, if they ask you what is subscription, how did you automate your report? So there is something called subscription option is available on Power BI Cloud Service, using which we can set up the email subscription to send the periodic email updates to people in our organization. This is how we use it. But we off late we started using Power Automate. Our support team, they are doing it. See, not all the questions you should be knowing it. Okay. In reality, this is what they see. In reality, this is true. Though I work, as a lead data scientist, I don't have access to production. Okay. Even top level people don't have. Only specific team, they will have access to. If they want to make any changes, anything, they are the ones supposed to do it. We are the ones supposed to give them support or guidance. But we don't have access to that system in reality. That is what the truth. But in the case of startup companies, or they are doing it on their own. Okay, that is a different thing. This is what I think. Okay, so in that case, what happens? You are scheduling it. Okay, this is called scheduler. But Power Automate is the one is your scheduler. So scheduling, in the interview, they ask you. You can tell them we are using the scheduler. Okay, the Power Automate scheduler. You can tell them. But if they ask you in depth, that is admin job. Okay, they are the one using it, but we don't have any access to that. As a developer, we develop the report, we test the report. QA team will take our code and they will test it. In case any bugs they found it, there is something called bug tracker. They will raise it. We go and check, how many bugs are there. Are there any bugs raised against my code or report? I go and check it, and then I fix all the bugs. There is a status column, and then when you go and put it, okay, fixed, something. That's it. Once that has been done, the QA team, once again, they will test it, whether we have fixed the bugs correctly or not. Once again, they test it. If everything is fine, then they will give, green signal to push your code to your production system. Very simple. This is the one you need to remember it. Okay. And we have an option called share. Okay, so here also you can specify the email ID. You can, for example, you want to, copy, you want to, look here, this is the link, copy link. You want to share a specific report to within your organization. You develop this report, you want to share it, you can share it this way also. But the automation, you can do it with subscribe and export all the PDF. You can export to PDF everything, and a file all these things you can generate a QR code for this. When you scan the QR code, it will do. Look at this, is a beautiful option, Get Insights. When you click on this, this feature is in preview. Oh, okay, Power BI Insights. Why it was showing that one earlier? Okay, this is in preview. Okay, chat in Teams. You can chat with your team also. Fine. Okay, now the question is, fine, this report I'll be scheduling it using subscribe. Okay, and here what I do is I create a subscription. I specify all the users, whichever users I want to send this report. I will specify their email ID, and then I will schedule it here. Like, timing, which day, which time, and starting from which day to which date on a, this one has to be done. Okay, daily basis. I want to send this report to so and so people, and up to when you want to do it. Okay, so you specified everything. Everything is fine, but your report, whatever the data that are available in this report, are not up to date one, right? Every day, if you send the same, every day if you send the report with the same data, it is not much helpful. Every day, business is happening. New transactions are happening. Those transactions related data should get populated into your report. Every day, I want to see the daily sales summary. I don't want to see yesterday's sales summary. I want to say on a daily basis, let's say today I want to see only the today's sales summary. There are some reports, there are some requirements or like this, okay? That is when you have something called incremental data refresh comes into picture. So what is incremental refresh? The incremental refresh was available only in premium capacities in the past, but I guess starting from Feb 2020, it is also supported in the pro license. Okay, the incremental. So what is incremental refresh? First of all, it is, as the name suggests, we want to refresh the data on an incremental basis. Okay, this is not very specific to Power BI. It is specific to all the data warehousing, all the jobs that are running in the system. Okay, especially in the case of business intelligence or data warehouse, this is very common term, the incremental load. So you have something called one-time load, increment. This is very important concept. Even if you get a job, you will be, the status call, they use this one. Okay. There are two types of load. One is we call it truncation and load. And second type of load is incremental load. Okay, there are two types of load at a high level. Okay, and here truncation load. Supposing you wanted to transfer the data, the entire data from one place to another place. Okay, and okay, let's see. You have. I'll give you an example. For example, you have database A, and then you have something called database B. Okay, the database A. Listen, in the database A, you have a table by the name of let's say sales. You just assume that Amazon website, e-commerce website, whatever the order that you raise it, everything goes and stores here in this table, in this database. Okay, and what happens is this is for your data warehouse database, the B. Listen very carefully. Don't tell me you're not able to understand. If you concentrate, you should be able to understand. So what happens? This is data warehousing meant for analytics. Here only we store the historical data, whereas in the database A, it's meant for the transactional. Daily customers will raise the order, they cancel the order. But usually, this database will have maybe 1 year data in it. That's all. Whereas in the case of data warehousing, you will have at least 5 years worth of data there. All the 5 years data will be there. The historical data, it will be there. Already explained what is data warehousing, right? So what happens is you set up a data warehousing now. Just now you created the database where manager at the top level CEO decided he is no longer interested in viewing only the operational report. You just every day shows what is the today sales, what is the yesterday's sales, what is today's profit. You want to go one step further. You want to do a lot of analytics. You want to do some advanced analytics. You wanted to compare the current year sales with previous year sales, current year sales with the last 2 years sales, current quarter with the last 3 or last 2 quarters. So in that case, you need to have the historical data, right? If you don't have the historical, how can you do that? That's where you have the data warehousing. You store the historical data. So what happens is the Amazon website, it's only this database, right? So whatever the order you raise it goes and stores here only. So let's say you have created a data warehouse first time. Okay, first time you create a data warehouse. Let's say, in 18th November, today we have created a new data warehouse. Table, everything is there. Let's say 15 dimension tables are there, 2 fact tables you created. Fine. These tables are having empty now, empty data in it. These tables do not have any data. So what you are doing is you are taking this database A and then you push the entire data to this one. Let's assume that, hypothetically, this database has 3 years of data in it. And what you are doing is you are pushing the 3 years of data to this data warehouse. When as of 18th 11, let's say your company started by 2021. So as of November 2022, all the data you push it here. Fine. Let's say, now your data warehouse have, the starting from the day when you, let's say the day when you started your business, right? From that day to till date, whatever the transaction that is available here. What about tomorrow's transaction? Tomorrow also customer will order it, right? That one you will not have it here. First time, what you did the truncation. This is also called as a one-time load. This is very interesting one. Listen very carefully. One-time load. Truncation is also a one-time load. Okay. So one time you loaded it. When starting from, let's say your company started on Jan 1, 2011 to till date. Or not 2011. Today is 22, right? 2021. Jan sorry, Jan 2020. Okay. First Jan 2020 to till date, whatever the entire data, right? You push it here. This is called a one-time load. Very simple. Tomorrow, your customers are let's say customers are raising order tomorrow. Okay, whatever the data that comes into your database tomorrow, that data you need to move it here, right? So whatever the data you have it here, the same data you need to sync up here. Okay, you moved the entire 2020 Jan 1st to till date, right? You pushed it here, entire data, historical data, you pushed it here. 20, 21, 22, 3 years data almost you pushed it here. Tomorrow, if any new any transactions happen, 19th November, that data will not be there here. If I wanted to load the 19th tomorrow's data into this data warehouse, if I reload everything from the beginning, January 1st, 2022, 19th November, tomorrow, if I reload it, let's this volume of data is very huge. It comes around, let's 1 petabyte volume of data is there. Just because tomorrow's data, if I wanted to, take it from here and load it here, is it wise to, reload the entire data once again, starting from 1st Jan 2022, tomorrow, 19 November 2022, into this one? To load this data, the 3-year data, it took almost 10 days. In real time, we break our head, even the one-time load. Okay? Fine. Okay, it is not wise every day. See, every day, whatever the transactions happens in your, sales table, right? That has to be moved, that has to be synced up here. Instead of loading the entire data every day, right? So what we do is, whatever the data that got changed, that one only you load it here. I think still a few of you are not clear. If you concentrate here, please concentrate here. Don't chat in WhatsApp with someone. Okay. So here, let's 2000 1st Jan 2022, 19th. So today is 18th, right? Yeah, 18th November 2022. The historical data. This comes around, it's hypothetical, it's 1 petabyte volume of the data. Is that to load this 1 petabyte volume of data, it took, let's 20 days time into your from year to year, right? To load this 1 petabyte volume of data, it took 20 days time to load it here. Okay, you loaded it up to today, right? From starting from 1st Jan to till date, you loaded. This is your historical data. History data is your one-time load. Got it? One-time load. One time you loaded it. That's all. Next, what you do is 19th January, 20th January, whatever data comes in, right? That goes and writes here only, not in the data warehouse. Okay. Here only it writes. So what we are doing is the 19th day, whatever the data comes, only that specific day. Let's on that specific date, you have just 1 lakh records are there. Okay, 100K records are there. 100K is for smaller compared to 1 petabyte data. This database already has 1 petabyte volume of data in it. In addition to that, including tomorrow's data, 100K, along with this, it will have 1 petabyte and 100,000. 1 petabyte, 1 lakh records are there. Is it wise to load only tomorrow's data into this data warehouse? Because already have 1 petabyte volume of data. The last 3 years data you copied here. Whatever the data comes on a daily basis, only that volume of the data, if you push it here, that makes sense, right? So why you need to club these two things together? Again, if you try to load it, what will happen? Again, it will take another 20 days to load it. Right? So whatever the changed data, you want to reflect or you want to sync up the changed data to your data warehouse or the target system is called your incremental load on a daily basis, on an incremental basis. The incremental load can be daily, weekly, monthly also. There are some jobs you will be loading it on a daily basis. For example, in the case of sales fact, for the sales fact, that is the one available in data warehouse. Whereas in your this database, right, the OLTP database, you have some sales table. The Amazon website, whatever you are, that is the one is going to get loaded into this sales transaction table. From this sales transaction table, whatever the transaction happens on a daily basis, that needs to be loaded into your data warehouse fact table, right? Sales fact table, right? On a daily basis, you need to load. Only then you can do daily sales analysis also. But in this case, whatever the changed data that you get it on a daily basis, only load that data. So under 1 lakh records loading from your OLTP to data warehouse will not take much time. Rather than if you combine the 1 lakh with the 3-year data, and if you load it on a daily basis to keep your data warehouse in sync, that is not the right way of doing it. It's something like, you are shifting your house from one place to another place. You shifted everything all at once. Okay. And tomorrow, right, the house, you receive one letter. What happens? You go to that in the previous house where you live, and you go and pick up only one letter. Instead, right, if you pick up the entire thing, you just imagine that, right? You pick up, this is not the right example. You pick up everything once again. Again, you take the entire thing, and again, along with the letter, if you ship it, it's not make sense. Probably you can tell me some analogy for this, right? So what you do is you ship the entire data once, and on a daily basis, whatever the new records comes in, whatever the changes happening, right? Only that one you capture it and then you push it to your data warehouse. In that case, you will save a lot of time. The changed data only you are pushing it here. This is what is called as incremental load. Now in Power BI, how we can schedule the data refresh, the incremental data refresh, right? So that we will take a look at it now. The first step is if you want to configure the incremental data refresh, Let's assume that this report has whatever the data you see here. These data are yesterday's data. You want to see today's data, but the today's data you did not publish it here, right? You published this report yesterday, but how you can give today's data in this report to your management. So that is where we are going to configure the incremental refresh here. So what we are doing is, look here, this is my report file. Let me just go directly to my another report file in the interest of time. Already I just created, because you people are already familiar with the query parameter, everything. Incremental refresh. Look here, in this case, all these tables are available. These are the tables are available. So I'm talking about fact sales because this is the one having huge volume of the data in it. Every day, from the Amazon website, you just assume that the transactions are getting 1 million, every 1 hour, 1 million transactions are happening in the case of Walmart. Okay. So this table size is very, very huge. Okay. What you are doing is on a daily basis, whatever the transactions happening, you push it on a daily basis. It's something like, right, you complete your daily task, day-to-day job on a daily basis, right? You don't want to carry forward. If you carry forward, what will happen? It'll be overburden. You go to office, you don't do any work. 5 days you go to office, you don't do any work. Sixth day, if you want to complete all the 5 days task, what will happen? You are overburdened. If you complete on a daily basis, what will happen? You don't have to stay late. You don't have to stay weekend, right? Same thing. Daily basis, we are extracting whatever the transaction that comes in, we are pushing it to your fact sales. Okay. So in that case, we need to schedule the incremental data refresh. So what are the steps that are involved? The first step is you need to create the two query parameters, range start and range end. Okay, let's see if I don't create anything. For example, this is my fact sales. This is where I want to configure the incremental data refresh. Right click on it, and then you just click on, look here, you will find something called incremental refresh. If you click on this, you will find something like this window. And if you see here, I have already configured this one because I have already created two parameters called range start and range end. Listen very carefully. This is very, very important concept. Even if you get a job, you should be knowing it. What I did, I just went to my faxes, right click on it, incremental refresh. So you might be asking this, why the hell should I configure it only for faxes? Why can't it be for example, location? This location table will not undergo changes on a daily basis. Okay. Location, you just assume that way. Okay. Or let's this is a region, dim region. You already defined we are going to sell our business only in 4 regions. Rarely or probably after 2 years, you may come up with a plan to include a new region. Hence, this table will not undergo frequent changes. Those table will not undergo frequent changes. You don't have to configure the incremental refresh, but still you can configure it, but every once in a year you can configure it. It is not so frequent. The incremental refresh is not required on a daily basis or weekly basis or yearly basis or yearly basis. Once in a year you can do, because every year maybe 1 or 2 region only we are going to add it. In that kind of situation, take for example the calendar also, right? These kind of tables will not undergo frequent changes, whereas sales table will undergo frequent changes. These kind of tables on a daily basis, you take the data and push it there. Daily take it and push it there so that you don't have to do the heavy lifting. If you don't push the data from your source system, see, not from here, I just, see, this is what your sales table. This is your OLTP source system. Okay. The OLTP source system is this one. This is OLTP sales table. This is where the Amazon website, right? People are ordering. This is where the transaction. From here, what you are doing is you need to daily basis, you take the data and then push it here. Daily basis, because this table is the data in this table gets grown up like anything. Okay. Let's say your e-commerce website writes the data in another table. This is called OLTP database. The OLTP database also, you have a table called sales. In this table, whatever the orders raised by the customer, the orders cancelled, whatever the orders they modified, everything is captured here. Okay. And then what you do is on a daily basis, you can push this data from here to here. If you don't push the data, because this is for historical purpose, data warehouse. All these things are data warehouse, okay? You need to maintain the history data here, all these tables, okay? But this sales table, especially fact sales, requires frequent data refresh. They say you have loaded last 3 years data that is available in all these all these tables, but on a daily basis, whatever they transfer, that you need to load it, right? Yes, that you are going to. For that, you need to schedule the increment. Whichever tables that requires frequent refresh, what you are going to do is you are going to set up the or configure the incremental refresh. For example, in this case, fact sales, right click on it, click on the incremental refresh. Here you will find a lot of options here. But in this case, I have created two parameters. One, the two parameter names are like range start, range end, because of which it is opening it. If you don't create the parameter first, that is the first step. If you don't create the parameter, these options will not be visible. Okay, it will tell you upfront, hey, you, for example, I will just show you another report. Look here. In this case, when I right click on it, incremental refresh, when I click on, in this case, I did not create the range start, range end parameter. Look here, it is not showing anything else. It's set import and this one is not enabled, right? Only when this one get enabled, I can toggle this one to enable it to on. Look here, in this case, this one I'm able to toggle it on and toggle it off, right? Because I have created the two parameters. That's the first step. Okay, what is the first step? I did it. In the interest of time, I'll just go and show you. You know how to create the query parameter. Look here, I have created range start. There's a parameter called range start. You know how to create the parameter, right? You just create, keep the cursor in the Power Query editor right on the left side, just beneath the queries. Right click on it, new parameter, click on it. That's how I created it, okay? And then once you create it, click on the manage parameter. You can modify it also. This is how I created. This is this is case sensitive. The yes supposed to be capital letter or supposed to be capital, rest of them are small letter. This is supposed to be case sensitive, okay? Don't give small yes, it will not work. Range start, and here date time. If you want to enable incremental load, the data type should be date time in your table column. For example, I have the order date. The order date column should have the time along with the date. Okay, so the data type for this parameter is date time, and the type of the parameter is any value. The current value I specified it here. Okay, already just specified it here. And range end also I specified it. Okay, between these range, you select the data. Fine, I create the parameter. I just show you range end also. Even in the case of range end, it is case sensitive. Or supposed to be capital letter, E supposed to be capital letter. The data of everything is fine, right? Okay, fine. I created two parameters. Fine, because of which I'm able to configure that one. Look here, it is showing me all the option here. Incremental refresh. When you click on this, look here, fact sales, and then set import and refresh ranges. You toggle this on. Now you are enabling incremental refresh. You are telling Power BI, hey, don't extract the entire data on a daily basis. Instead, whatever the changes are happening on a daily, only that one you do it. You can refresh to my fact sales table from the sales table. Okay. So here we have, okay, first thing is you need to, first step is create the parameters, start, range start, range end. What is the second step? I just go to the fact sales here. And in this table, you need to go to the order date column. Okay, order date column. There you need to filter it with this one. Okay, the saying like hell. Let me, oh yeah, it's coming now. The fact sales. Now you understood, right? Why analytics guys are staying late, and even with this data, it hangs like hell. And look here, you have something called order date. You just, you're not here. Oh, sorry. You need to go to the Power Query editor. fact sales in this table. Okay, here, what is the problem here? See, already specified this one here, filtered rows. Oh, could not find the nc sales.xlx file. Why it is usually there, no? Yeah, okay. I just I converted to older version. What I will do is, see, once you undo this, you cannot get it back. Okay. So what I do is I just close it so that whatever the thing I just write, this is the way that you can get it back the previous transformation. Discard changes. This is very important step. Okay. And you go to the, once again, you click on the transform data. See, I should have checked why it is causing the error. Instead of checking the error, I just simply deleted all these steps. This one supposed to be XLSX. This Power BI desktop is looking for XLX file. Look here, I just select the fact sales. Look here, XLX file is not there. What is the way out? You just open this file and then, yeah, so I just save it as an XLS file. Always don't panic. First check what error you are getting it. Try to fix it on your own. Where is that XLX? Yeah, this is the one. I just save it as this one. Good. Now if I go here and then if I go to transform and then where is the refresh preview? So even for this less volume of data, it takes this much of time. We are working with millions of data. Yes, see, the issue got fixed automatically. Now you understood what was the issue, right? The file name was missing. Okay, and okay, now we have got it. Now I just go to the order date column, look here and click on this one. And here, date time filters. Here, what you need to do is you need to specify the, so here, the order date, right? So order date and date time filters. Here, what I do is after, okay, equals, I just select on the start with the equals. See, you have created these two parameters. You need to use it, isn't it? I'm going to use it on this column. And here what I do is parameter. I create range start. Here instead of equals is after or equal. This is important because we don't want the duplicate. Okay, it should be equal to, is after or equal to. Okay, and is before or equal to, is before or equal to. You need to click on this place. My system is hanging. Select the parameter. Look here. You click on this. So here I create two parameters, range start and range end. So here, right, so what I did, this parameter I mapped with this order date column in this table. This one I mean. So we need to tell Power BI from which date to which date I need to extract the incremental data. Sometimes on a daily basis, whatever the changes happen, only those changes on a daily basis you take it. No, don't take the change data on a daily basis. Instead, you take it every once in 2 days. Whatever the changes happen the last 2 days, only that one you take it. You need to define the start and end date. Here, instead of hard coding it, we are using the parameter so that you can give any start date, you can give any end date. Got it? I just click on OK. Matching to this, this value is falling in this range. I just click on close and apply. The first step is create the parameters, range start, range end, and then map these two parameters in the order date column. And then the order date column here, if you see here, This is not in the datetime format. Okay, if you click on it here, because to enable incremental load, it is mandatory. The date column which you are using it in a business table, it should be a date time data type. Okay, we have 7 more minutes. Don't worry. Okay. And if I click here, okay, instead I could have done it there itself. I can go to the Power Query editor, and here you just select the fax sales, and here order date. Yeah, it is date time only, right? It's already in date time only. Look here, right click. Okay, or you just click on this one, select date time. It is date time format only, and then you apply. But why it is not showing date time there? Order date, it shows only the month, date, year. Okay, you just click on it here, and then you just click on it. It's not showing the column. Okay, column tools. You need to select the column tools. Look here, order date, go to column tools. Oh yeah, it is showing odd date time, but it is not showing the date time here because the format I used is something else here, long date, right? Make sure that you are giving this one also. There is a date, time is not there here, right? Yeah, this is the general date. We can give it something like that. Okay. Okay, we are done. Step one, create the parameters, 2 parameters, map those 2 parameters to the order date column, and make sure that your order date column is date, time, data type. And then the next step is very critical. So select the, now only we are going to do the, we are configuring the, or we are defining the policy for the incremental refresh. Here, what I'm going to do is, okay, here you need to enable this one. Initially, it will be like this. You need to toggle this on. Yes, I want to pick up only the newly changed data. Don't pull the entire data on a daily basis. Instead, whatever the changes or recently added transaction in my source system, only that one you can pull it here. Okay, here I'm going to say 4 years data. This is one-time load. You remember one time. First time you extract the entire data, and then onwards, what you do is you extract the data every once in 10 days. Whatever the new data comes in after these 4 years. For example, look here, he has given an example. January 1st, 2018 to November 8, 2022. Whatever the data are there, you pull it here. Or let's I just say 3 years data. It is not changing. Yeah, this is the example he has given here. Okay. Whatever, yeah, it is changing, right? Correct, correct. So 19, 2020. So it gives the date also, right? Here, what is the year? So this 3-year data, you pull it once, and then anything after 8th November, what you do is any data comes in, after 11, what you do is go and check it in the source system, on a daily basis, right? On a daily basis, you extract the data. Or let's say, I just say 10 days, every 10 days. Every once in 10 days, you go and pick up the newly included data in my source system and then push it to my fact sales table. Okay, so here the fact sales is nothing but the which table you wanted to implement the incremental refresh. And the next one is the number of rows you want to store, which means load only once, one-time load. Okay, take the entire data and load it once, the 3 years data in my fact sales table. And then what you do is every once in 10 days after this 3-year, after 11/8, every once in 10 days, what are the new record comes in the source system, you can pull it here or refresh the data in this table. That's all. And then the last one is you have only refresh complete dates, and you have something called deduct change data changes. This is an advanced setting. Okay. So for this, in order to enable this, you need to have an additional column in your source system table. Okay, source system table, usually last update date, a column by the name of last update date will be there in almost all your source system tables. With that, you can detect the changes on a daily basis, okay? And which column? Only refresh date in the past 10 days if the maximum value of this date and column changes. Which column you need to use it as a basis, and use this column as a basis, and then you extract only the last 10 days data, which has got the changed data in it. Ideally, you need to enable this one also. Okay, and then apply. But to enable this in your source system table, you need to have the last update date and all. Okay, if you click on this here in this case, it shows order date. Okay, fine. Look here, it shows this diagrammatic reference. 3 years before refresh date, you archive it. 10 days before refresh date, okay, this one, and incremental refresh. So between this duration, you do the 10 days data. Every once in 10 days, you can pick up the newly included data and then refresh it in this table. And then I'm going to click on apply. That's it. And then my incremental policy definition was over. And the next one is I just go to the home ribbon, click on the publish. When you click on the publish, this report will get published there. And once you publish it there, your report, once you publish and configure the incremental refresh in the Power BI service in the cloud, you will not be able to download the data set to your Power BI desktop. Okay, remember that. So in order for this policy to come into effect, you need to publish it to the Power BI Cloud service. It's already 11 o'clock. That one probably we will demonstrate you in the upcoming Tuesday. With this, we are done. All the important concept I covered in Power BI. And what we will do is this upcoming Tuesday, SQL. After this demo, right? I'll cover one more DAX function, one or two DAX function, and then we'll continue with the SQL topic. Okay, Tuesday and Thursday, we'll be in a position to wrap up this batch. And those of you who are still not clear, right? Probably if you want to start from the beginning, you can join my new batch also. I will let you know. Okay, don't do. The only thing is, right, the best thing is you can do it along with me. Before I start the session, keep your laptop on, and then your data set, everything, load it, and then whatever I type it, side by side, you try it on. That's the smart way of learning it. Okay, anyhow, you watch my video and hope you